Hey guys, and welcome to today's extra video for my Advent calendar series. And in this video, I want to talk about my favorite mini album size. Because while I also do folios and albums in other sizes, most of the time I like to do albums in the size 8 by 8 inches. But before I start with what I think are big advantages of making albums in size 8 by 8 inches, I want to add that when I say 8 by 8 mini album, it does not refer to the size of the album cover. Because the album cover is way larger with 9 by 9.5 of an inch, and then I usually have a 3-inch wide spine. And then when we look on the inside of my albums, my basic pages are actually 8.25 by 8.25 of an inch. And then the pattern paper with which I decorate my basic pages with, they are actually in size 8 by 8 inches. So let's just talk about the first reason, which is that 8 by 8 mini albums are just perfect to add different interactive page styles to them. And if you have seen my other videos, you would probably have noticed by now that I just really like to add interactive page styles. So every time I'm doing an 8 by 8 mini album, I would get my folder with all my individual page style cutting guides, and then I just choose what to include in the album I'm making. And so far I choose from 25 different page styles, but I will definitely add more to my page style collection in the future. And while I like to mix and match interactive page styles, I would also include some simple pages in my albums as well. So this would be just basic pages with some pattern paper, but no additional interactive elements. But of course, you could also include interactive page styles in smaller albums. And I actually do that as well. But I just figured that there are just much more possibilities with 8 by 8 mini albums. And that's because they go very well with different photo, paper, and embellishment sizes. And this brings me to the next reason. So to make these page styles, you could use a lot of different paper sizes, but also decorating elements such as journaling cards. And as I have showed you in my previous videos, I really love including journaling cards. And also, like when you get a collection kit or a paper pad, like very often there are journaling cards included. And I think the most common sizes for journaling cards are the sizes 4 by 6 inches as well as 3 by 4 inches. And then there are also journaling cards in size 4 by 4, 3 by 3, and 2 by 2 inches. So let me just give you a few examples for why 8 by 8 inch interactive page styles are just great to include some journaling cards. So here you can see my favorite page style number 15, which is actually publicly uploaded to my YouTube channel, so you could check it out right now. And as you can see here, it's just perfect to add some 3 by 3 journaling cards, or you could also place a 2 by 2 journaling card on here as well. And for this, I would usually place it on top of a frame first. And then for the second page style I want to show you, which is actually my favorite page style number 2. And this one is not publicly uploaded to my YouTube channel, but you can purchase the cutting guide as well as the link to the tutorial in my Etsy store. But when you look on this page style, you could just place a 4x6 journaling card right on top of the little booklet and it would cover it completely. But you could of course also use some pattern paper and then a 3 by 4 journaling card to decorate it as well. And as you can see here, I would also back my 3x4 journaling card onto some frame I have cut out with my die cutting machine before. But not only can you use different size journaling cards, but also different size papers and paper pads. So as far as I know, the most common paper size for collection kits and paper pads is the size 12 by 12 inches. But you could also get paper pads in size 6 by 8 inches or 6 by 6 inches. And while you would of course need 12 by 12 inch papers to decorate your 8 by 8 mini albums with, and I will talk about 12 by 12 inch papers later on in this video, I think it's just great that you could also use some 6 by 8 or 6 by 6 inch paper pads when you, for example, have them from the same collection. And of course, you could also cut out some 6 by 8 papers out of your 12 by 12 inch sheet. But with these collections, I'm talking about the paper pads in size 6 by 8 and 8 by 6 would not include the same patterns as the paper pad in size 12 by 12 inches. So as you can see here on the 6 by 8 pattern paper, which says Merry and Bright, it's more like a large journaling card in size 6 by 8, and this would definitely not be included in the coordinating paper pad in size 12 by 12 inches. So for example, in my favorite page style number 20, I have this photo mat, and this photo mat has the size 6¼ by 6¼ of an inch. So it's just perfect to use some pattern paper out of your 6 by 6 paper pad on it. And when you want to include some 6 by 8 papers in your 8 by 8 mini albums, then my favorite page style number 14 would be a perfect example of an interactive page style on which you could include 6 by 8 papers just perfectly. But as I said before, you would probably use 12 by 12 sheets most of the time because this is definitely the most common size for pen and paper collections. And I also always use papers in size 12 by 12 inches. And what I also love when using 12 by 12 sheets in an 8 by 8 mini album is that I usually won't have a lot of scraps because with the measurements for my 8 by 8 mini albums and the 4 by 6 elements I like to include in my page styles, 12 by 12 inch cardstock is just perfect to use. So, as I said in the beginning of this video, the pattern paper on my basic pages are papers in size 8 by 8 inches. So I would cut this out of my 12 by 12 inch sheets, and then it would always leave me with a piece in size 4 by 12 inches and also another scrap in size 4 by 8 inches. And what I would do now is I would also cut the 4 by 12 inch sheet into two pieces in size 4 by 6. And these four pieces are just perfect to use in my 8 by 8 inch albums. So for example, for the 4 by 6 pattern papers, I could use them in all my page styles with 4 by 6 elements, and I actually do have a lot of these. So for example, on my page style 13, I could just place one of the 4 by 6 inch pattern papers onto the pocket. And then for the 4 by 8 inch pattern paper piece, I could also place this one on, for example, on my pocket, which is my favorite page style number 18. But of course, there's other page styles like my gatefold page on which it would perfectly fit as well. And then of course the 8x8 inch pattern paper piece can be attached to all of my basic pages in my albums. So now I want to talk about what mini albums are all about, which is of course the photos you can place into them. And by using all these fun interactive page styles, you can use a lot of different size photos. So full-size photos in size 4x6 as well as smaller photos, but even larger photos in size 6x8 inches could be included as well. So for example, in my favorite page style number 15, which I've shown you before, you could include 3x3 photos in each of these little booklets. And also when you look at this example, it wouldn't really make sense to also include a page style like this in a 6x6 mini album, because then your little booklets would get very small, and this would mean that you couldn't include 3x3 inch photos to them, but you would have to use very tiny photos. And then to give another example, you could attach a 4x6 photo onto my tag in my favorite page style number 13, and you could actually place them on both sides. And then even larger photos in size 6x8 inches can be added to some of my interactive page styles, such as my favorite page style number 14. I think it's just great to attach the 6x8 photos onto the inside of the flaps. So now that we have talked about the different photo sizes in interactive page styles, I also want to have a closer look on adding photos onto basic pages. So when you look on the simple page, not only does all these photo sizes of course technically fit onto it, but they also look very good on it. At least that's my opinion. Because of the square format, it does look great to add 4x6 portrait photos as well as landscape photos when you place them in the middle of the page. But as you can see here, you could even place two 4x6 photos on one simple page as well. But when I want to add more than just one photo on a basic page, I usually would use smaller sizes like 3x4 or 3x3 inch photos. And as you can see here, I think it looked just great to attach two smaller photos in size 3x4, either orientation, onto a plain simple page. So even if you're not into doing interactive page styles, I still think 8x8 mini albums are just great to use different sized pictures. And then my last and very important reason for loving this size for my mini album so much is of course that you can fit a lot of photos inside an 8x8 mini album. And I usually would do 4 hinges, so 4 basic pages, but I would also add my additional page flaps to each of the basic pages. And if you haven't watched it yet, there is a tutorial on my basic pages and the additional page flaps on my YouTube channel. And of course, it depends on what interactive page styles you would include in your album, but I would say that you can fit like at least 50 photos in an album like this, which I'm flipping through at the moment. But you could even place way more when you're using smaller size photos, not just full size photos. And then also when you're placing like not just one, but two photos on a simple page. And yeah, so it depends on the size of the photos and what interactive page styles you would include. But if you would like to, you could probably add like hundreds of pictures in one 8x8 mini album as well. So that's it for my reasons on why I love the size 8x8 inches for my mini albums a lot. But before I close out today's video, I want to say thank you so much to all of you who joined my giveaway, which I posted last week on Sunday. I really enjoyed reading all your lovely comments, and I actually already contacted the 3 winners of my digital favorite page styles Advent Calendar bundle. So if you haven't checked it yet, please go and check your messages here on YouTube or on Instagram if you have joined the giveaway there. And for all of you who didn't win, you can still get my favorite page styles Advent Calendar bundle in my Etsy store, as well as the individual cutting guides and templates and video links for each interactive page style if you want to buy individually. And it's actually on sale right now, so you can get everything for 20% off. And just a reminder that even though my favorite 25 interactive page style bundle is included in my Advent Calendar series, that doesn't mean that in any way it's Christmas related. So you can of course still get it after Christmas, and then also you can use all the different interactive page styles with all the cutting guides you're getting, as well as the templates and the video tutorials. You can use them in all your future 8x8 mini albums. So you can just decorate them for any theme or any occasion you like. But if you haven't watched it yet, I also uploaded an information video in which I explain everything in detail. And in this video, you will get an idea of what the cutting guides and templates look like. So yeah, that's it for today's video, and I hope that you enjoyed watching it. If you did so, please give it a thumbs up, and also I would love to get your feedback in the comments down below. So if you have any question, you could also leave it in the comments, and then see you in my next video. Bye!